There have been many games that have taken gamers to the empty void of space. It inspired the exploration and discovery of No Man's Sky. It's motivated developers to continue pushing the technological envelope to achieve the futuristic feel in Star Citizen. It's made our hearts pound as we romance and befriend our way across the galaxy in Mass Effect. And it has awakened some of our most terrifying cosmic horrors in games like Dead Space. There have been many games to touch the stars, and there will continue to be many more, with some leaning to the fantastical, such as the upcoming Exodus game, to the more grounded NASA-inspired realism of Starfield. Despite being a vacuum void of any possible life, space has held our curiosity and imagination for ages. For game developers, it's been a challenge to answer a not-so-simple question. How do you bring life to space? Hello Crows and non-Crows alike, my name is Joe Mack, otherwise known as Support Crow, and today, we're talking about the latest update from the Expanse Osiris Reborn, which talks about how they are going to answer that question. Now for those of you who do not know, the Expanse Osiris Reborn is a AAA create-a-character RPG with companions and choices and consequences, similar to the style of the original Mass Effect trilogy. We're going to go over their video, I'll point out some things that I noticed, and we'll see if they show a good enough answer. I'm really looking forward to this game, so let's dive right in.
One of the biggest fears of an astronaut doing extravehicular activity, or EVA, is somehow becoming detached and floating away.
First thing, it's great that they brought in an expert, Leroy Chow, to help focus on the realism of space.
Hi, I'm Leroy Chow. I'm a former NASA astronaut and ISS commander. Owlcat Games asked me to help them to create what it's like to live and work in space. During real spacewalks, we actually use tethers to keep ourselves attached to the vehicle. In a reactive game, that would be too clumsy, and so mag boots is a creative way to kind of compromise and keep it realistic, but also be able to be reactive. But the fear is the same, becoming detached somehow and drifting away.
That said, game design producer Janenko says that this is grounded in science fiction rather than simulation.
We wanted to strike the right balance, realism grounded in science fiction, not simulation.
What that tells me is that although there is going to be an effort to achieve realism, the focus is still going to be a game with its own core goals. In the footage, especially in combat, we can see this balance in play. For example, we have mag boots that we can use to traverse through a level, and that keeps us grounded during spacewalks. The use of sound also plays a key role in creating the immersion of being in space.
The people at Owlcat Games did some research and figured out that vibrations caused by shots inside of a vehicle would translate to the hull and likely be felt through the mag boots.
What you hear is what your character feels. Breath comes vibrations. The tension stays, and so does the fear.
However, this isn't a straight-up simulation. It's a video game with its own video game logic. For example, this target takes 10 shots to the face and they're like, gee, maybe I should take cover or something. Then there's space debris flying around that's not turning us into Swiss cheese. At one point, the player shoots an explosive and this cloud of debris blooms out and slows down. In reality, all of that debris would turn into shrapnel and expel outward at great speed until something stops it. On a planet, what stops shrapnel is wind resistance and gravity. In space, what stops shrapnel is basically your body and anything else around it. Otherwise, it'll just keep going. And finally, I noticed that once we take out a target, the body detaches from the station and floats off. If mag boots are on, then the body would just hang there in place. Am I saying these things subtract from the experience? No. It's a video game, not a simulation. If this was Star Citizen, I might have taken some points away, but the goal of Osiris is not to be a simulation, it's trying to be a story told in space. And speaking of the story, we're shown some footage of what I believe is the Pinkwater security station canteen. In fact, I think all of this video takes place on the Pinkwater security station, which is essentially the main character's place of employment. Something bad goes down and we have to shoot our way out, which involves us doing a spacewalk. And clearly it's not like walking through a field of daisies. I like how the producer talks about how people in the station will talk about food and whatnot and brings attention to that. I haven't read the Expanse books, but I have watched 3 seasons of the show. And I remember Alex Kamal making a big deal out of food and always cooking his lasagna and whatnot.
Astronauts often crave spices just to feel such sensations again. On pink water, meals created from what could actually be grown in orbit. And in the same spirit, you'll even hear your companions discussing food and ingredients on the ship.
Voila! That's lasagna.
It's voila.
Sit down. So
I wouldn't say lasagna is a critical part of the game that I expect, but if my character is offered a slice, I'm probably going to take it. So, from this 3-minute video, does this Osiris Reborn succeed at bringing space to life? It's hard to judge from this one video alone. It looks great, I'll give it that. I need to see more gameplay, I need to see more world reactivity and immersion. I want to see characters interacting with each other. I think this video does a good job showing us they're bringing realism to space, but I think the jury is still out on bringing the life. Life implies that there's things living in space, which to me means characters and what those characters get up to. If the player themselves is not actively doing something, what else is going on in the world? How about you though? Are you convinced they're bringing space to life? Are you impressed by what you've seen so far? Let me know down below. I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching. Be sure to stick around for more Expanse content in the future. We will be talking about some locations that were mentioned earlier this year. Until then though, be safe, be well, be kind. Bye bye.